1430 KBRC.
Hello, basketball fans, wherever you may be, and welcome to Mount Vernon High School. This is Mike Lane along with Brent Williams and Brad Sofer. Tonight, the homestanding Bulldogs, 8-2 in Northwest League play, second place and 12-2 overall, entertain their county rivals, the Burlington Edison Tigers. The Tigers are 4-7 in league play and 7-7 overall. The Tigers in sixth place in the Northwest League are a game and a half out of fourth place, and Burlington badly needs an upset here tonight against Mount Vernon to keep alive their postseason hopes. When we come back after this 2-minute timeout, I'll have an interview with Burlington Edison coach Darcy Weisner. But first, let's pause for a 2-minute timeout. The Tigers are 7-7 overall and 4-7 in league play. And tonight, the Tigers travel to Mount Vernon to meet the second-place Bulldogs, who are 8-2. Darcy, now, in your first meeting against Mount Vernon, they had that big first quarter, and though you played them even after that, you just couldn't overcome that deficit. What kind of changes do you have in mind for tonight's game at Mount Vernon?
Well, I think initially the thing that we need to concentrate on is having a very good first quarter and not allowing Mount Vernon to jump out on us like they did in the first game. So I think you won't see us probably pressing very much at all in the first quarter. And then we'll still try, if we have an opportunity, to get a fast break or a quick shot. If we're on balance, we'll take that. If we don't have that, we'll probably try to pass the ball around and get a higher percentage shot than we did in the first game. Hopefully, that'll keep us in the game at least through the first quarter, and then maybe at the end of the game be in a position where we can win it.
Now, Mark Hendrickson is the Bulldog leader, the 6'8 junior, scoring 24 points a ball game, and he's also a real force off the offensive backboard. What are you going to try and do to neutralize Mark somewhat?
Well, I think initially tonight what we're going to attempt to do is we're going to assign a person to him, and that person's responsibility is to block him out on every offensive shot that Mount Vernon takes and hopefully eliminate his offensive rebounding. If we can do that and get the defensive rebound, we feel like we've got at least an opportunity to not allow them to have as many second shots as they've been getting in the last few games.
Now, besides Hendrickson, Mount Vernon can shoot the ball pretty well from the perimeter. What are you going to try and do offensively to get yourself established in that first quarter?
Well, I think it's real important that for us, being young and a little bit inexperienced, that we need to go out and shoot, and we need to shoot well. I think if we shoot like we did in the last game, you know, shooting a lot with these kids breeds confidence. If you're shooting well, I think your confidence level is higher. If you're not shooting well, it makes things a lot more difficult, and it puts a lot more pressure on the kids on defense. And any little mistake they made is really highlighted because of lack of ability to score. So our key tonight is to come out and get good shots and make them.
Now, you're not going to be at full strength. Who's missing, and who are you going to put into the starting lineup?
Well, last night we had an injury. Keith Wilson sprained his ankle in a PE class, and so he won't be available to play tonight. And so we're going to start a sophomore in his place, Brett Johnson. He's a 6'5 sophomore. He's got good range from outside three-point line, and he's doing a lot better, putting the ball on the floor. The last time we played Mount Vernon, they kind of shut him off. They took away his outside shot, but I think tonight you'll see him put the ball on the floor and go to the hoop a little stronger than he did in the first game.
And whenever you attack the basket, you always have a chance to earn a trip to the free throw line.
Yeah, you know, the one thing that's kind of the key to a successful inside game is your aggressiveness to the basket. And hopefully we can take the ball when we have an opportunity to the basket and get to the free throw line and get some freebies from there.
Darcy, good luck to you and the Tigers tonight and the rest of the way.
Thank you very much, Mike.
And now we'll pause for this 2-minute pregame timeout. Matt Frazier. The Bulldogs are 12-2, and they entertain their rivals from Burlington, the Tigers, this evening. Mac, you beat the Tigers handily in the first round. Is it difficult to get your team mentally up to play Burlington Edison this evening?
No, it's not. Every time that we play Burlington, it's a big game. our kids have played against them in a lot of different situations during the spring and summer, and they know them pretty well, and so it's not difficult to get them ready to play. And just like in all the sports, it's a real competitive rivalry whenever the two towns are playing each other, and it's not difficult at all.
Now, Burlington Edison likes to play an up-tempo kind of game, and that's a game that you favor as well. Do you expect to see anything radically different from that up-tempo game from Burlington tonight?
Well, you're never really sure what to expect. What we're preparing for, we always prepare for everything. I mean, they have done a lot of pressing and a lot of running, and they've done it fairly well this year, and we're ready to play that way. They also might come out and want to be not slow down, but we're real deliberate, and we always work against that too. But we work against that for any team that we're getting prepared to play. We're always ready to play real slow or real fast or in between two, and we know that every game's important to every team, and all teams do what they can to win or to give themselves the best chance to win. And Burlington might want to play that way, but then again, they've pressed and ran and been pretty successful at it all year, and they might want to play that way too.
Now, if they do play the up-tempo game, what are a couple of things that you need to do in order to win the ball game?
Well, the biggest thing I think defensively is you've got to keep their three-point shooters from getting hot and getting a lot of open shots, and they have some excellent shooters from that position. And they've scored an awful lot at shooting the three-point shot. I also think that you need to play good defense on the whole team in other areas also, and you definitely have to rebound very well against them. And then you have to handle their pressure. You have to do a good job of breaking the press, controlling the ball, and whatever press they throw at you, because they switch up to quite a few, you have to make sure that you can adjust to that every time that you see it.
Now, your team has improved a lot since the opening of the year, winning 12 of your 14 ball games, but have there been a couple individuals in particular who have really improved their overall game significantly?
Well, I think our whole team has improved somewhat. I can see individuals that have all made improvements in one area or another. I see that the team has really shown a lot of improvement. I don't think we expected Mark Hendrickson to be playing quite as well as he's played, but he's done an excellent job, and that's something a lot of people can see. I think Chad Wires has improved a lot from the start of the year, too, just feeling more comfortable, getting his shot more often, becoming more than just an offensive threat. He's a good three-point shooter. He takes the ball in the wing very well, excellent defender. Did a very good job against Kinlock when we played him. He's done very well. I think Ryan Keys, as a sophomore, has provided a lot of offense that we weren't really sure he was going to be able to provide. He's, like I said, just a sophomore, and yet he's been a very effective three-point shooter and done a real good job for us all year. I think Trent Keys and Steve Burlington off the bench, people that we weren't really sure what we were going to get from. We've gotten an awful lot of leadership from Trent and seeing the whole court, and he can play underneath, but he's still an excellent passer and can also lead the break. And Steve Burleson has been a kid that has come in off the bench and given us a lot of spark. I think those 4 or 5 people have really improved a lot, and there's still improvement, left for all the individuals and for our team too.
Mac, good luck to you and the Bulldogs tonight and the rest of the way. And we'll pause now for this 2-minute pregame timeout. Mount Vernon in the first round, 99-75, and Brent, the Burlington Edison Tigers have themselves quite a task this evening.
Well, they do have a task. They're up against one of the better teams in this state. Mount Vernon ranked number 10 coming into this game. But it's always an interesting game with Burlington and Mount Vernon, no matter what the two teams' records are, because these kids have grown up just across the river from each other. They've played against each other in the camps in the area, in the AAU leagues, and the junior high leagues, and grade school leagues, and they know each other very well. And there's always going to be that little bit of competition between the two there, the bragging rights for the year, you might say. But Burlington, after getting off to such a fine start this year, has really fallen on hard times after their 5 wins early in the year. They're now 7-7 and 4-7 in league. They find themselves in 6th place. 6th place doesn't get you to the district tournament. 4th place does. The top 4 teams go out of this Northwest League. A problem for Burlington has been their slow starts. As Coach Darcy Weisner has said, I had an opportunity to Watch Burlington Tuesday night against Cedar Woolley. They had a horrendous first half. Just terrible. They shot only 18% in that first half. And the problem is they weren't getting good shots. They were coming down, they were hurrying things, and Coach Darcy Weisner this year has installed this up-tempo offense, but in his up-tempo offense, he has done that to create some easy shots. And as we heard him say on the pregame show, that if the good shot isn't there, he doesn't want them to force anything. He wants to come back out and get a good shot, but the purpose of up-tempo is to get those potentially easy shots. What has happened is they've given up tons of easy baskets at the other end. In the Cedar Woolley game, there must have been anywhere from, 20 to 40 points in easy breakaway lay-ins out of that game, and that could have been the difference of the game right there. What are some keys to this game? First, let's look at Burlington's side of things. Number one, being without their point guard, Keith Wilson tonight, is going to make a big difference for them on how they attack. He's kind of their floor leader and has been all year. And when you lose the quarterback of your basketball team, no matter who that is, that's a big chunk out of your lineup. That'll be a big thing. They can't give up the easy baskets. Mount Vernon's game is a running game, and they love to get easy baskets on the other end. They're talented kids, Mount Vernon, and they've played well together. They pass well in open courts. Burlington cannot give up easy baskets at the defensive end. On the offensive end, they want to get a chance every time. And what I mean by a chance every time, that's a good shot every time. Now, sometimes they'll come down and they might force some things like they did. That isn't what Coach Weisner wants. He wants a chance every time. Come down, if you have the chance, good shot, take it, and the percentages will be on your side. If not, bring it out, and let's attack this defense of Mount Vernon. Defensive boards are a big plus for them, not just what they do with Hendrickson. And I'm going to talk about what I feel maybe the only way to take care of Mark Hendrickson is. You're never going to take care of him, but the best way possibly to play him, he says they're going to put a person on him to get that offensive boards. Well, to keep him from the offensive board. What teams have done all year is they have denied Mark Hendrickson the ball, which isn't a bad thing to do because you don't want Mark Hendrickson to get the ball because he can beat you by himself. But when you deny a person the ball and then someone else takes the shot, he's in perfect offensive rebounding position. And Mark Hendrickson, the 6'8" junior captain for Mount Vernon, who's one of the fine prospects in the state, has such an inbred knack of going to the offensive boards. He has that sixth sense of where the ball's going to come off the rim. So what I would recommend that a team would do, and if I was the coach and devising a game plan, I would probably play Mount Vernon in a 2-3 zone. I'm not sure Coach Weisner is going to do that because he's a man-to-man coach, and that's what they've gone with all year. And sometimes you just got to go with what you do best. But what I'd do, I'd probably go in a 2-3 zone, know where Mark Hendrickson is all the time, and then I would pinch him with two people, one from the front and one from the back to keep him off the boards because he is that valuable to Mount Vernon. Dan Erlison, I feel, is a big key player for Burlington tonight. He's their post player inside. He's not real big, 6'3", 6'4", but he really attacks inside. He's got some nice moves inside and attacks very well. If he takes the ball at the big people of Mount Vernon, he could get them into early foul trouble. On Mount Vernon's end of the court, what do they have to do? Number one, I don't think there's any factor in this not being a big game and having a letdown. Last year, Coach Frazier talked to us earlier in the week and talked about that Arlington game last year where they went in supposed to not be a contest at all, and they went in and got beat at Arlington, just a mental letdown. He says that's not a problem anymore. But like we talked about, there's never a letdown in a Burlington-Mount Vernon game. If Burlington does go to a zone, Mount Vernon must attack that zone. In the games we've seen them this year, they have not done a good job attacking a straight zone. And we'll see what happens there. Number three, they must run. That's their ball game. They want to get out and run. And they're great in an open court situation. The reason they're great is they have big people that can run and catch the ball and finish off a play at the other end. In Burlington's press, if Mount Vernon does get pressed tonight, they must make the Burlington press pay. And what I mean by that is pay is if you attack a press offensively and all you're concerned about is getting the ball over half court, then there's no reason for that team to get out of their press. But anytime you give something defensively and you're taking chances in a press, you're going to give up something at the other end. And The thing at the other end is easy baskets, what Mount Vernon must try to get a hold of there. One thing I think might happen tonight is totally out of character for Burlington this year. Coach Darcy Weisner has gone to kind of a Loyola Marymount attack where he's like to get down the court, run, and get that easy shot, shoot the three-pointer if it's there, and he's been fairly successful, especially early on in the season with that. But Coach Darcy Weisner is a good coach, and he knows basketball, and he knows that he can't play head up with Mount Vernon talent-wise. And I look for a slowdown game tonight. And that's the way Burlington and Mount Vernon games have gone in the past. And realistically, you look at this, it's very, very important. Burlington gets a chance every time. They set tempo, and Mount Vernon doesn't get a chance to set tempo themselves. So here we are, and you know, people say it's not a big game. It's not a big game in the sense that Mount Vernon more or less has second place, pretty good hands on that. Burlington, it's a big game for them. If they could pull off this upset here, it would be a monumental upset for them this year and might carry them right over in that district tournament.
And now we'll pause for tonight's national anthem, played by the Mount Vernon High School Band. Well, there you have it, the national anthem played by the Mount Vernon High School Pep Band. The starting lineups have been introduced. Let's review them for the visiting Burlington Edison Tigers. At one forward, a 6'5" sophomore, Brett Johnson. In backcourt, they have Jason Gahan, a 6'1" senior, and Nate Andrews, a 5'10" junior. Also in the starting lineup up front, they have a 6'3" junior, Jared Verrill, and 6'3" senior, Dan Erlinson. For the Mount Vernon Bulldogs and Mac Frazier, they're starting up front, 6'8" junior Mark Hendrickson, 6'9" center Matt Wahlberg, 6'4" forward Bill Cornelius, and backcourt 6'2" junior Troy Holmes and a 5'8" junior David Garcia. Our officials, Pat Wilson and Mike Gubrud. Wilson, the referee. Up goes the basketball. We're underway. The ball being batted around, and Garcia controls it for the Bulldogs in front court. Pass to Hendrickson, and Mark lays it up and in. Mount Vernon on top, 2-0. Nate Andrews brings the ball across the timeline. Let's see if the Tigers take a more patient approach. Jason Gahan drives baseline, no place to go. Drive into a double team down low. Out on top to Gahan, to Andrews between the circles. He goes left side to Verrill. Baseline to Gahan, 15-footer, no good. Holmes skies for the rebound, dribbles out of backcourt. Upcourt pass to Hendrickson. He's guarded by Nate Andrews. Pulls up, goes to Holmes. Pass to Matt Wahlberg, traveling or a charge, and traveling is called by Mike Gubrud.
We see already that Coach Darcy Weisner has made a point with his team. Let's get back on defense. They had 5 guys back on the paint to stop the break.
The Bulldogs are the ones who are pressing. The Tigers break right through it. Jared Verrill drives, pulls up, 12-footer on the way, bounces, doesn't go. Wahlberg with a rebound, outlet to Garcia. Cornelius is on the right wing. He gets the basketball. Holmes posts up. He had 31 in the first meeting between the two. Ball swung back to Cornelius. His 17-footer is off the iron, no good. Hendrickson with a rebound, cross court to Holmes. Holmes drives baseline, shot up. It goes and will count. Troy Holmes, who had 31 against the Tigers in Mount Vernon's victory, 99-75 in the first round, gets the basket. Mike Gubrud calls the foul, and Holmes goes to the line for a potential three-point play.
Well, it's really important for Mount Vernon tonight to get everybody involved in their offense. That's something that Coach Mac Frazier has wanted to do since day one with this team, but it's been mostly Mark Hendrickson and one other person, and it hasn't been the same person all that time during the year. They need to get all 5 people involved.
Holmes' free throw is good, and Mount Vernon's on top 5-0. Just over a minute into play, Gahan nearly loses the basketball. Goes to Erlinson to Nate Andrews. A little 5'10 guard wheels his way out of backcourt, but the ball is stolen away by Garcia, who drives and scores. Tigers need a timeout as the Bulldogs have scored 7 consecutive points, but Darcy Weisner shows no sign of calling time. Andrews backs his way in on Garcia. The two players, Garcia and Andrews, collide and fall to the ground. No harm, no foul. Gahan has it left wing, goes to Erlinson, 12-foot jumper, off the back iron, no good. Garcia the rebound. Garcia up court to Holmes. Holmes left wing. Dribbles the ball out beyond the three-point arc. Lob pass to Wahlberg, down low for the short one. Rims off, no good. And Hendrickson commits a foul going over the top of Jared Verrill, who blocked Hendrickson off the backboard.
Well, great job. Looks like Jared Verrill has that assignment of keeping Mr. Mark Hendrickson off the backboard. Did a great job that time. David Garcia is giving Nate Andrews fits on the other end of the court, which he does to most people. He's very quick.
The Tigers get it inbound. Dan Erlinson has it stolen by Garcia, who gets a beautiful screen from Cornelius and drives for the uncontested lay-in. 9-0 Mount Vernon. Andrews double teamed to the left corner. Up court pass to Brett Johnson. Dribble drive. Pulls up, nearly travels. No call. Out on top to Andrews, who drives into the paint, running one-hander. Blocked by Wahlberg, but a foul is called. I believe it'll go against Bill Cornelius.
Well, David Garcia tonight has come out with a lot of energy, and that's very important for Mount Vernon. I've always said the game starts with the guards. They set tempo offensively and defensively, and as your guards go, the rest of the team will go. And David Garcia has taken that on himself tonight and is doing a fine job getting the up-tempo game going for Mount Vernon.
Bill Cornelius did commit the foul, and Nate Andrews goes to the line to shoot 2. Speaking of really pushing the ball up the floor, Garcia's also got 3 rebounds so far, and he's the smallest player on the floor at 5'8". Nate Andrews makes his first free throw. The Tigers finally on the scoreboard. They trail 9-1, 5:54 to go in the first quarter, and Nate converts both. Bulldogs on top 9-2, 5:45 to go. Garcia working on Andrews. Goes to Cornelius left wing. Post up, down low to Wahlberg. Turnaround 10-footer doesn't go. Offensive rebound by Hendrickson. He misses. Good job by Verrill. Gahan to Dan Erlinson, who wheels out of backcourt. Goes left side to Verrill. Back to Gahan, who's open beyond the three-point arc. Goes right wing to Erlinson. The Tigers definitely slowing it up. Gahan is open. Left wing three-pointer. Bounces, doesn't go. Verrill with the rebound. Puts it up. Rolls off. No good. Erlinson, the offensive carom, shoots it over the iron. Little intimidation by Wahlberg. Mount Vernon quickly up the floor. Holmes drives all the way. Runs over Brett Johnson, no call. Scramble for the loose basketball. Garcia saves it to Cornelius left wing. Down to Holmes. Holmes back to Cornelius. Left-handed hook in the lane. Doesn't go. But a foul is called, and Bill Cornelius goes to the line to shoot 2.
Well, it seems that Mount Vernon's game plan is definitely to get the ball inside to the big people, and let's get our shots in that paint area, the key area. Into the game now for Mount Vernon is number 42, the big wide body, Trent Keys. He replaces Matt Wahlberg.
And Keys at 6'1" did a very good job last Friday at Seaholm High School. Helped bring the Bulldogs back along with his younger brother Ryan. The Keys brothers were indeed the key to the Mount Vernon rally, which brought the Bulldogs within an eyelash of making a sensational comeback in the second half.
Well, I know that Trent Keys has a very big fan in Coach Mac Frazier. Mac has told me that if Trent was 6'4", 6'5", he'd be an all-stater or an all-leaguer. He's very clever inside, has some good basketball instincts.
So we've got a problem down there because Mike Gubrud is talking to Mount Vernon coach Mac Frazier, conferring with the scoring table. I'm not sure what exactly has transpired. Mac is standing up with that green towel in his hand, and we've yet to line up to shoot 2 free throws. Greg Tate, the fine baseball umpire who officiates junior varsity basketball, just stopped downstairs to buy some juice and a bag of popcorn. He's going to sit here and watch the varsity contest. And with this break in the action, why don't I review tonight's other action this evening. In boys basketball, Anacortes travels to Bellingham to play the Red Raiders, who are 4-4. And before I go further in the schedule, we'll pause for a 60-second timeout with the score Mount Vernon 9 and Burlington Edison 2.
Creed Norwest is your neighbor and friend. Concrete Norwest on Burlington Boulevard in Burlington. Concrete Norwest, building a better community because they care.
Welcome back to Mount Vernon High School. The officials are still conferring with the scoring table. Brad Silfer has gone over to find out exactly what the delay is. So we'll take this opportunity to review tonight's other high school basketball action. As I said before, the Anacortes Seahawks travel to Bellingham for a game against the Red Raiders. The Cedar Cubs host the Ferndale Golden Eagles. The Seahome Mariners travel to Arlington for a game against the Eagles. In Northwest B-League basketball, Mount Vernon Christian is at Snohomish County Christian. The Concrete Lions are at Coopville. In Northwest AA League girls basketball, Bellingham is at Anacortes, Cedar at Ferndale, Arlington at Seahome, and Mount Vernon at Burlington Edison. In Northwest B-League girls basketball, La Connors at Orcas Island, Concrete at Coopville, Mount Vernon Christian at Snohomish County Christian. And in swimming earlier this afternoon, Seahome was at Anacortes and Mount Vernon at Bellingham. And Brett, what was the delay anyway?
Well, what Brad tells us is that they have a leak close to the scorer's table. It's coming out of the ceiling somehow, but there's not raining outside. I don't know if they have any ducks up there or what might be, but have a little leak. Looks like they've got it taken care of, and they'll be watching it as this game progresses.
Bill Cornelius misses the first free throw. Mount Vernon on top, 9-2, 5:04 to go in the first period. The Burlington Edison Tigers trying to spring a major upset here. Cornelius' second shot is also good. 10-2 Mount Vernon. Bulldogs in a full-court press. Hendrickson swats the ball away from Dan Erlinson, nearly steals. Jared Barrow will inbound the basketball. Barrow trying to get it over Mark Hendrickson. Gets it into Jason Gahan. Double team in backcourt. Baseball pass up to Nate Andrews. Nice pass to Erlinson, who drives for the reverse lay-in. No good. Jared Barrow rebounds Erlinson's miss. He's hammered. And Erlinson will go to the line to shoot two. Rather, Barrow will go to the line on the rebound of Erlinson's miss to shoot two.
Well, Barrow's having a good game so far. He's got a couple of second chances right away. And that's what Coach Darcy Weisner wants. He wants to make sure they have chances every time, and an offensive rebound and a second chance would never hurt. Barrow puts in the first free throw, 10-3 Mount Vernon.
So the Tigers have yet to score a basket, 4:54 to go in the first quarter. Barrow's second free throw bounces, doesn't fall. Trent Keys with the rebound, outlet pass to Troy Holmes. Left hands it across the midcourt line, pulls up left flank. Under tight man-to-man pressure, a steal and a foul from behind by Hendrickson. So good aggressive defense by Erlinson, the steal by Barrow, and he's fouled from behind on Mark Hendrickson. That's two on Hendrickson with just 3:14 gone here in the first quarter.
Well, that's two fouls on Hendrickson. Coaches have different philosophies. Some like to get him out with two fouls in the first half, some three, and he's staying in.
Jason Gahan goes down to Jared Barrow. Back out to Jason Gahan, dribbling left to right around the three-point arc. Gahan has a three-point shot, turns it down, goes to Erlinson, back to Gahan, working against Cornelius. Pulls up, free throw line extended, passes out to Nate Andrews between the circles, goes left wing to Dan Erlinson. Tigers definitely very patient. The three-pointer being eyed by Gahan, and he throws the pass away. Trent Keys leads the Bulldog fast break. Dishes to Troy Holmes, drives baseline, running one-hander, no good. Rebound by Jason Gahan, wheels out of backcourt. Trent Keys nearly runs up his back, but he puts on the brakes in time. Nate Andrews, right wing, goes to Gahan, left wing, eyes a three-pointer against Cornelius. Goes left side. The give and go to Gahan, nearly loses the ball, travels instead, as Gahan, intimidated by the taller Bulldog defenders inside, traveled with the basketball.
Matt Wahlberg comes back in for Trent Keys for Mount Vernon. What Burlington does offensively is kind of like an old Doug Moe offense. Doug Moe was the coach of the Denver Nuggets for years in the NBA, and it's a passing game and a lot of motion. It's a motion offense for the Tigers.
Pass down low on the Bulldog possession. Wahlberg loses it out of bounds, so the Tigers, after letting the Bulldogs run off 7 consecutive points, have kind of squared things off here. They trail 10-3, 3:47 to go in the first quarter. Trent Keys checks in for Troy Holmes. Mac Frazier goes to the bench, wants a little outside shooting punch. The Bulldogs still pressuring the inbounds pass. Mark Hendrickson on Jared Barrow, who gets it to Dan Erlinson. Ryan Keys steals the return pass, and Mount Vernon on top, 12-3. Brett Johnson quickly into forecourt, pulls up. 18-footer, no good. Rebound by Erlinson. His shot blocked from behind, but Wahlberg is whistled for the foul. Mac Frazier can't believe it. Stops down the sideline. giving the big glare to the official, Pat Wilson, but Pat made the call right away. And the Tigers, Dan Erlinson, will go to the line to shoot 2.
You know, as a coach, when you're pressing, you always look at your ratio. How many baskets do we give up compared to how many are we getting? Mount Vernon now has stolen the ball 3 times out of their press, converted each time, and they haven't given up an easy basket yet. So they're 3-0 in that turnover, or that ratio of the press. Erlinson puts in first free throw. The second one's on the way.
Dan's second shot off the back iron, no good. Hendrickson sweeps the boards, outlet to Garcia. Garcia speed dribble into front court. Pass to Hendrickson down low. Turnaround 10-footer is up and good. Hendrickson shooting over Jared Verrill. 14-4 Mount Vernon. Nate Andrews sprint dribble into forecourt. Goes right wing to Brett Johnson. Three-pointer, good.
The lefty's money out there. He spots up on that three-point line to get him the ball. It's down.
Burlington Edison's first basket is a three-pointer. They trail 14-7. Lob pass to Hendrickson. Hendrickson to Matt Wahlberg, who misses the dunk. Long up-court pass to Brett Johnson. Runs it down. Saves it to Gahan. Gahan right out in front to Jared Verrill. Nearly travels. Goes right side to Brett Johnson, who drives. Puts up a shot. He's fouled by Ryan Keys. So Brett Johnson that time did what Darcy Weisner wanted him to do. At 6'5", go hard to the basket, and he draws the foul and go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, Brett Johnson has a lot of things going for him. Number one, he's a sophomore. He's 6'4", 6'5", and he can shoot the ball outside. Plus, he's got great skills, and he needs to put the ball on the floor for people to honor him in that direction, and he'll free up for that outside shot more as the year goes on.
Brett's free throw is up and good. Brett now has 4 points, and the Tigers, who trailed 14-4, have scored 4 unanswered points, trimming the Bulldogs lead to 14-8, 2:52 to go. Jason Gahan comes over to take a seat on the bench, and we'll check and see who the Tigers sent in for him. Chris Thorson in for the Tigers as Johnson drops in the second free throw. Tigers have pulled within 5. David Garcia to Ryan Keys in the right corner, out on top to Bill Cornelius. Head and shoulder fake, lob pass to Hendrickson. He's down low, puts it up. It does not go, but he's fouled and will shoot 2 free throws.
See, that's the dilemma I talked about early on there. One person cannot handle Mark Hendrickson by himself. There's just no way possible. There's no one in this league that has the capabilities that Mark Hendrickson has, with the skills to go with that 6'8" frame that he has. It really takes 2 people. It needs a person to deny him all the time, but then once the ball goes up, someone's got to come from that offside and block him off.
2 subs for the Tigers, Kurt Cannon along with Chris Thorson, and Hendrickson's first left-handed free throw bounces off the rim, no good. So the Tigers definitely making a game of it. They look like they are on the verge of being blown out here in the first quarter, which has always been the Tigers' worst, according to Coach Darcy Weisner. Hendrickson's second free throw popcorns around and finally drops through. 15-9 Mount Vernon. The Tigers bring it up against Bulldog pressure. Jared Verrill nearly palms the ball, gets it to Brett Johnson. Long three, no good. A Tiger Thorson tips it to Garcia to Hendrickson, who travels, misses the layup. Jared Verrill with the rebound, looks up court. Chest pass to Nate Andrews in front court, to Thorson left wing, to Andrews, to Brett Johnson, head of the key. Drives on Cornelius. Nate Andrews dishes to Thorson. Tigers very deliberate. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Mount Vernon on top, 15-9. Pass to Johnson running the baseline. He hits the turnaround 12-footer, and the Tigers have pulled within 4, 15-11. Garcia directing traffic. Brings it up court. Cornelius drives baseline. His floater, no good. He gets the rebound. He's hammered from behind. So the Tigers concede the baseline. Cornelius drives, misses the shot, but he stays tough, gets the offensive rebound, and earns 2 free throws.
Well, that's great to see out of Bill right there. He's got tons of talent. He's only a junior, and he's got that good outside shot also, but you haven't seen him put the ball on the floor much this year and attack the hoop. That time he put it on the floor, attacked the hoop, missed the shot, attacked it again, and got his own rebound. Nice to see out of Cornelius.
Substitution for the Bulldogs. Chad Wires comes in for David Garcia. Bill's successful conversion of the free throw attempt gives the Bulldogs a 16-11 lead. The Tigers in there, they've got Brett Johnson, Nate Andrews, Dan Erlinson, Chris Thorson, And we'll check the other Tiger, Kurt Cannon, also in there. Nate Andrews to Erlington to Thorson. Thorson out on top to Cannon, goes left wing to Chris Thorson to Brett Johnson, who fires, bounces, doesn't go. Hendrickson with a rebound. Mark spin dribble up the floor, goes to Ryan Keys, 16-footer, rims off, no good. Excellent block off by the Tigers, and the ball belongs to Mount Vernon as it bounced off a Tiger knee, but the Tigers had two bodies screening Hendrickson off the offensive glass. 16-11 Mount Vernon. Chad Wires will inbound, gives to Troy Holmes, no place to go, spins around Brett Johnson and lays it up and in. Good post move by Troy Holmes. The Bulldogs on top, 18-11. The Tigers had crept within 4. Mount Vernon stretching it out. 1:10 to go here in the first quarter. Nate Andrews backs Ryan Keys down. The ball down to Kurt Cannon, who's double teamed. Nice dish to Chris Thorson, who lays it up and in. Took advantage that time of Hendrickson, who couldn't play aggressively defensively. And Thorson, who gives up 5 inches, still put it up over Hendrickson. 18-13. 50 seconds to go first quarter. Chad Wires left flank, head of the key to Ryan Keys. Holmes unguarded, lays it up and in. Breakdown on the Tigers defense. Mount Vernon up 20-13. Brett Johnson has it knocked out of his hands by Chad Wires. A whistle and a foul is called. I believe it's going to go against Brett Johnson. Johnson, after Wires stripped the ball out of his hands, hacked Wires across the wrist, so Chad will go to the line to shoot the bonus 1-1.
Well, great hands that time by Chad Wires. He did a fine job defensively last week coming off the bench against John Kinlock for the Seaholm Mariners. Wires has an excellent athletic body. He can do a lot of things. He's just kind of coming into his own on the basketball court. His skills are getting better all the time and staying up with his athletic ability, but he's got those quick hands and quick feet. Plus, he's a high jumper on the track team, so he can jump out of the gym.
Chad Wires at the line has a chance to give Mount Vernon a 9-point lead. His first free throw is perfect, and Mount Vernon stretching it out a bit. Burlington had crept within 4, and the Bulldogs lead the Tigers now 21-13. 44 seconds left. You're listening to Skagit Valley and Northwest Washington Sports Leader, 1430 KBRC. Wires, the second free throw is good. Bulldogs up by 9, 22-13. Matt Linnell is in for the Tigers. Gives to Dan Erlinson, who wheels out of backcourt. Cross-court bullet pass to Nate Andrews on the left flank. Tigers appear that they may hold it for the final shot with 30 seconds left. Pressure on Thorson, gives to Linnell way out between the circles. Under pressure, now double teamed. Trying to get it to Nate Andrews, finally does with 20 seconds to go. Andrews working against Ryan Keys, little 5'10 guard, directing traffic, 15. Cross-court to Erlinson, three-pointer, good. Dan Erlinson hits for 3, 22-16, 8 seconds, 7. Ryan Keys, sprint dribble out of backcourt, goes to Chad Wires, 3, 2. Cornelius's bomb at the buzzer is no good. There's the buzzer. We've completed one quarter here at Mount Vernon High School. Our score, the Bulldogs 22, the Tigers 16. We'll pause now for a 60-second timeout.
You've heard of clearance sales.
In high school, we've completed one quarter of play. The Bulldogs lead the Burlington Edison Tigers 22-16. So after a sluggish start, the Tigers got it going. Brett Johnson playing well, as is Dan Erlinson.
Well, Burlington is right where they want to be. 22-16, they're right in this game.
The Tigers with the ball in front court. Jason Gahan checking back in with Matt Linnell. We'll check the other two Tigers, Jared Verrill and Dan Erlinson. Shot from the corner by one of the Tigers, no good. Hendrickson, the rebound, outlet pass to Garcia. Garcia up to Holmes. Holmes drives into the paint. Hendrickson, three-pointer, left side, in and out, no good. Battle for the rebound. Wahlberg comes down with it, puts it up off glass. It'll count, and he's fouled.
Great battle there for Wahlberg. He got to the backside. 90% of all rebounds will come off the backside. He figured that one out. He got back there, and his big frame got him the ball, and he had people hanging on him and put it down. Important thing already for Mount Vernon is last Friday night, 5 people scored for them in the whole game already. They have 7 people scoring tonight.
Wahlberg's free throw, no good. Jared Verrill clears the rebound. Outlet pass to Nate Andrews. Has the ball nearly stolen by David Garcia. Nate Andrews had a high dribble, and Garcia had the angle. That was a sure steal, but Garcia just caught a bit of the wrist, and he was also, unfortunately, standing right in front of referee Mike Gubrud, who saw the contact.
Well, David Garcia will not let the other team's point guard relax 1 second through the whole ball game. That's his trait. That's what he does best, and he knows but that's part of his game.
Nate Andrews rolls the first one in. Tigers trail it 24-17. The Tigers lineup: Jared Verrill, Nate Andrews, Matt Linnell, Dan Erlinson, and Jason Gahan. The Bulldogs with Garcia, Hendrickson, Cornelius, Holmes, and Wahlberg, their initial starting five. 24-18 Mount Vernon. Garcia sprint dribble into forecourt, spins around Andrews, throws it up and in. The basket will not count, as Garcia, on a rare occasion really, spun to the basket and took it all the way to the hole. Usually he dishes it off. That's one thing I think David needs to do more often to make the opposing defenses more honest, because he looks for the pass so often that against Seaholm a week ago, Mariners didn't even guard it because they knew he was going to pass. Garcia's 1-and-1, up, no good. Verrill, excellent job blocking out. Outlet pass to Nate Andrews. Andrews works it up court very cautiously against Garcia. Goes left wing to Gahan. Gahan launches a three, rims out. Wahlberg the rebound. Outlet to Garcia. Leads a Bulldog break, and he runs over a Tiger. No call. The basket will count. Oh, my. Bad break for Burlington Edison. Garcia sprinted into the lane, ran over a Tiger, dished it off at the same time. No call on Garcia as he buried a Tiger in the paint. And Holmes takes the feed, lays it off glass and in. And the Bulldogs lead it 26-18.
Well, that's one of the few times all evening that Mount Vernon has got a good shot off of the break. And that was just a matter of Matt Linnell not being in position that time, getting back, getting set into the paint, and got the block call.
Holmes tries for the three-pointer. He puts it up and in. And the Bulldogs lead it 27-18, equaling their biggest lead of the ball game. Verrill inbound to Andrews. Baseball pass to Brett Johnson. Nearly stolen by Bill Cornelius. Cornelius was the floater there at midcourt and sprinted across and got a hand on the basketball. Verrill will inbound at the midcourt line. Time is running. He gets it into Andrews, harassed by Garcia at the midcourt line. Two-hand chest pass across midcourt to Gahan, left corner. Gahan to Verrill, left corner to Andrews. Back out on top, Brett Johnson, three-point bomb, good. Brett Johnson with his second tray of the ball game. And the Tigers pull it in 6, 27-21. Garcia looking for Hendrickson. High post pass to Mark, turnaround 12-footer, bounces and drops. Mark Hendrickson rolls in the 12-footer, 29-21 Mount Vernon. Gahan beats Cornelius at midcourt. Beautiful bounce pass to Erlinson for the layup. Excellent fast break by the Tigers. 29-23 Mount Vernon. Garcia in the front court looking for Hendrickson. Get it to Hendrickson, beats Verrill, dishes to Wahlberg for the easy layup.
Well, two times in a row now, they've given Mark Hendrickson the ball in a scoring position. You can't give anybody the ball in the score position, especially Mark Hendrickson.
The Tigers get it up court. Brett Johnson on the right wing from 21 hits another three. 3 threes for Johnson. The Tigers within 5, 31-26. Cornelius, left corner, way out on top to Holmes. Holmes right flank, gives to Garcia, who's backed it out near the midcourt line. Bulldogs on top, 31-26, 5:45 to go. Garcia right corner to Cornelius, the lob to Hendrickson for the layup. So the Bulldogs, very good passing, and Hendrickson 3 consecutive times gets the ball deep, and that leads to 3 straight Bulldog baskets. 33-26 Mount Vernon. Time is called. We'll keep it right here. The Tigers getting plenty of offensive production from Brett Johnson, but unable to stop Mark Hendrickson in the interior Bulldog attack.
Well, what happened? Jared Verrill is making a decision if he's going to play in front or behind. The 2 times he played behind, Mark Hendrickson got the ball in a scoring position. What I mean in a scoring position is right around the block area down in the low-key area. That's a scoring position for anybody. You get the ball in that low, and that's a pretty good shot. So what they did this last time down is they fronted. They just a full-face front. Jared Verrill didn't even look at the ball. He looked into Mark Hendrickson's eyes, had his hands up, and was just going to deny the pass everywhere. But once the ball went from the wing to the corner, then they just dumped it right inside to Mark Hendrickson, and they had no backside help. That's the key. If you're going to front a person, you need backside help from your teammate, and they need to rotate over, and the backside man has to take Mark Hendrickson if the ball gets in low. Also, he has to take Mark Hendrickson and pinch him, as I was talking about, if the ball goes up, the shot goes up. They need 2 people on him, pinching him on the offensive boards.
Brett Johnson with 13 points for the Tigers leads all scorers, so the 6'5 sophomore has played very well in his starting role. The Tigers get it into Nate Andrews, who sprints into forecourt, beating the defense of David Garcia. Johnson has it just inside the three-point arc left wing. Goes to Jason Gahan, working against Cornelius. Jared Verrill fires a three. It bounces and drops. So Jared Verrill hits the three. The Tigers within 4, 33-29. That's as close as they've been. Verrill right on Hendrickson. He's facing him. No weak side help. The ball down to Hendrickson. Jared Verrill lost sight of Hendrickson. Gives him the uncontested 15-footer. The bounces doesn't go. Chad Wires gets the offensive rebound and sticks it in for Mount Vernon. Bulldogs lead it by 6, 35-29. Nate Andrews walks it out of backcourt. Nice spin move, got past David Garcia. Gahan left wing, pull up 15-footer, doesn't go. Rebound by Hendrickson. Hendrickson to Garcia, middle of the floor. Hendrickson to Garcia, back to Chad Wires. His three-pointer is around the rim, no good. Matt Wahlberg the rebound, back to Wires. Another three-pointer, head of the key, no good. Nate Andrews retrieves the rebound, right corner. Andrews walks it out of backcourt. Tigers within 6, trail at 35-29. Verrill high post. Goes to Andrews, right wing. Andrews, three, spins out, no good. Battle for the rebound. Touched last by the Tigers. Bulldog basketball. Checking in a couple of players for Mount Vernon. Looks like Ryan Keys. And for the Burlington Edison Tigers, 5'10 sophomore John Best. Best has a crew cut now, but earlier in the year he had the slick Watts look. Watts, a former outstanding Seattle Supersonic, was completely bald. He shaved his head and wore a headband at kind of a jaunty angle. Well, that's the way John Best looked earlier in the year, but John's let some of that hair grow back. And John has his hands full trying to stay up with David Garcia, who spins right by him and dishes to Mark Hendrickson, who lays it off glass and in. The basket will not count, but Best is whistled for a foul on Garcia, and David goes to the line to shoot the bonus, 1-1.
Well, David, that time, and every time he goes to the hole, he goes with one intention in his mind, that's to dish the ball off. He needs to get a scoring mentality there, and if he takes the ball past the dotted line, he should be thinking shot.
And David puts in that shot. Free throw number 1 in his 1-1 opportunity. Mount Vernon leads it by 7, 36-29. It's a game many people, I thought, figured this was going to be a blowout, Mount Vernon all the way, but the Tigers have shot the three-pointer well, and for most intents and purposes have taken pretty good care of the basketball. John Best with an ill-advised pass that time. Ryan Keys could only get his fingertips on it as he knocked it out of bounds just over the midcourt line. Burlington to Best. Also in the lineup for the Tigers, Jason Gahan, Kirk Cannon, and Brett Johnson. Gahan has it left wing. No place to go. Goes to Best, who almost double dribbles. He backs it out, looking for help. Goes right side to Kirk Cannon. To Gahan, who's triple teamed. Pass down low to Erlinson. He lays it up. No good. Whistle and traveling is called. And the Bulldogs will put it in play on their end line, leading it by 8. 37-29, 3:50 to go.
Interesting thing, I just noticed that time. The Bulldogs are in a diamond and 1 with the one person denying Brett Johnson the ball. So Johnson, who has 13 points, has definitely caught the attention of the Bulldogs and their coaching staff. Mount Vernon turns it over on their possession in front court. The Tigers trail it by 8. Mount Vernon is backed out of their full court pressure as John Best wheels his way out of backcourt, being hounded by David Garcia. Erlinson, his pass to Brett Johnson knocked away. Cornelius goes to the floor to save it, and Chad Wires promptly travels. Wires a little bit out of control, took a couple of steps before he put the ball on the floor. Nice call by Pat Wilson directly underneath the basket. So the Tigers need to settle down a bit. They're within 8, but they need to get good shots. Triggering the ball will be John Best, the 5'10 sophomore, looking, gets it in, bounce pass to Kirk Cannon, left corner, goes back to Erlinson. Cross court to Gahan, who's been shut off by the Bulldog defense. Best launches a 3, way short, barely hits the backboard. Hendrickson the rebound, outlet to Cornelius. Beautiful feed to Keys for the layup. Excellent passing by the Bulldogs. They lead it by 10. Tigers need to get better shots than they got on their last trip down the floor. Best to Erlinson. He fires a 23-footer. Good. Gets the bounce. Bounces high in the air, comes straight down through. That's a shooter's touch. Erlinson has a couple of three-pointers. 39-32 Mount Vernon. 2:45 to go first half. Keys, left wing. Cornelius, high post, working against Kirk Cannon. To Wires, between the circles, head of the key to Garcia. The Bulldogs have Hendrickson, Cornelius, Wires, Keys, and Garcia. Keys to the free throw line extended. Excellent defense by Cannon, who strips the ball away from Keys, drives, puts it up, misses the layup. Cannon
hurried his shot a little bit there. Definitely had the angle on Keys and really had a great setup for a possible three-point play and just missed the layup.
Well, he did a great job in taking that ball to the hole that time. He was smelling it all the way. We got some new people into the game now. For Burlington, Nate Andrews. For Mount Vernon, Troy Holmes, who has 9 points already, and Matt Wahlberg. On the other end of the court, defensively, Dan Erlinson is doing a great job on Mark Hendrickson now. They switched off on him. Erlinson now has him, and what he's doing is he's forcing him away from the basket. The first shot is missed by Cannon, but what's happening is he's forcing him away from the basket. He's putting his foot right on the ground, right in between Mark Hendrickson, and just kind of forcing him out with the upper thigh, and a smart move for Burlington.
Tough break for the Tigers. Cannon misses two. Cornelius drives the baseline. A blocking foul will be called on, I believe it's Jason Gahan. Cornelius made the strong move to the baseline. Gahan knew where he was going, right to the hoop. And Jason did the only thing he could. He cut him off and forced Cornelius to break his drive to the basket. And thus Cornelius will have to go to the line and hit both ends of the 1-and-1.
Well, I'm going to sing the praises of Bill Cornelius every time he attacks the bucket tonight. Like I said, that isn't something that he has done lately. It used to be a big part of his game, but he was just getting used to facing the basket and playing more of a perimeter position. But he's got the aggressiveness back in his game, and it put him on the line.
Bill's first shot is good. Cornelius makes the first, gets the second. 2:24 to go here in our first half. The score, Mount Vernon 40, Burlington Edison 32. Cornelius can give the Bulldogs a 9-point edge, which is their biggest lead of the ball game. He misses, and Verrill skies for the rebound. So Verrill and Erlington playing very well for the Tigers inside. Nate Andrews checks in, goes left side to Thorson, to Verrill way out in the left corner. Lob pass to Brett Johnson. Goes against the double team, has the ball blocked, and the Tigers retrieve the basketball. Great hustle there by Chris Thorson. Jared Verrill's three-pointer, good. Verrill hits the three, and the Tigers, they come clawing right back. They're within 5 inside of 2 minutes to go. 40-35. Cornelius right wing looking for Wahlberg or Hendrickson. Double high post, give and go. Wahlberg to Hendrickson for the layup. 42-35 Mount Vernon. Erlinson to Andrews, and Erlinson will work against Ryan Keys, bringing it out of backcourt. Verrill, right flank, goes to Brett Johnson. Shuffled his feet. Good defensive pressure right on the spot by Troy Holmes.
Well, this last time down, Matt Wahlberg was wide open on the block. The player was playing behind him, and they didn't go to him right away. If the big guy is open, get him the ball. Something good's going to happen.
42-35 Mount Vernon. Bulldogs can equal their biggest lead of 9. Cornelius right flank to Keys, head of the key. Keys, lob pass to Hendrickson, who's double-teamed and carries the ball out of bounds. Good defense by the Tigers that time. Erlinson fronted him. Brett Johnson, backside help. And Hendrickson was pinched, as you described, Brent, and lost the ball out of bounds. Token Bulldog pressure. Thorson gets it to the point guard, Ryan Keys, and Andrews waves his teammates down the floor. Gets it across the midcourt line to Jared Verrill. 1:05 to go, first half. Erlinson's three, bingo, right there, 42-38. The Tigers staying right on the Bulldogs' tail, and we've got ourselves a whale of a ball game. Inside of a minute to go. Holmes, left wing. Wahlberg barrels down, runs over Johnson. He missed the short shot. Outlet pass from Thorson to Andrews. Nate sticks one finger in the sky. The Tigers will hold it for one. Brett Johnson, right wing to Dan Erlinson, hands back to Nate Andrews, and Darcy Weiser just got to be delighted with the way his team has played thus far. Andrews, cross-court pass. Hendrickson gambles for the steal and runs right over Jared Verrill. 3 fouls on Hendrickson with 27 seconds left in the first half.
Well, I'm sure Coach Mac Frazier didn't think that with 27 seconds left in the first half, he would only be ahead by 4 points, and Mark Hendrickson would have 3 fouls on him. That's going to change Mark Hendrickson's game somewhat in the second half as Chad Wires comes in for him now. It's going to change his game. He can't be quite as aggressive, but because you don't want to pick up that 4th foul early on in the second half.
Jared Verrill at the line for 1-and-1. His shot bangs off the back iron, no good. Cornelius outlet to Chad Wires, hands back to Ryan Keys. 20 seconds to go first half. Bulldogs will try and convert and expand this 4-point lead. Wahlberg to Wires just in front of the midcourt line. The Bulldogs will hold it for 1. 10 seconds left. Ryan Keys handling. Right wing to Chad Wires, 7 seconds. 6. Wires, pull up 17-footer, good. 44-38, 2 seconds, 1 second. A court-length toss by Verrill at the buzzer is no good. We've reached halftime. Our score, the Mount Vernon Bulldogs 44, the Burlington Edison Tigers 38. We'll pause now for a 2-minute
Mount Vernon, 8 turnovers for Burlington Edison. So that's a big change of things for Burlington Edison, is they're even there in that turnover ratio, and that's another reason they're right in this ballgame.
So the Tigers and Bulldogs in an excellent first half. Mount Vernon leading at intermission 44-38. We'll pause now for our final 2-minute halftime timeout.
It used to be
Appliance during their New Year's celebration. Choose from the buy now at Anderson TV and Appliance, downtown Mount Vernon.
Welcome back to Mount Vernon High School. We're ready to go to start the third quarter. Mount Vernon leading Burlington Edison 44-38. You're listening to the finest of Northwest Lake basketball and your sports leader in Skagit Valley and Northwest Washington. 1430 KBRC. Mike Lane with Brent Williams and Brad Sofer. And we're underway. The Bulldogs have it. David Garcia goes right wing to Ryan Keys. Keys to Troy Holmes, head of the key. Mark Hendrickson is on the bench. Ryan Keys springs loose. Brett Johnson soars, blocks the shot, and it goes off a Tiger. Nate Andrews out of bounds. Setting the lineup for the Bulldogs, they have Troy Holmes, David Garcia, Ryan Keys, Matt Wahlberg, and Bill Cornelius. For the Tigers, Jared Verrill, Dan Erlingson, Brett Johnson, Nate Andrews, and Jason Gahan. Starting lineup for the Tigers, 1 sub for the Bulldogs. Wahlberg has it, 15 feet from the hoop, goes to David Garcia, holds one finger up in the sky, and promptly throws the ball out of bounds. Troy Holmes broke to the basket, and he expected Holmes to break to the wing. The ball sailed out of bounds, and the Tigers have a chance to work on that 6-point Bulldog lead.
Well, if that's play number 1, let's throw it out, huh?
Nate Andrews has the ball in backcourt for the Tigers, working against the hounding defense of David Garcia. Nate finally brings it across the timeline. Whistle, and a whistle away from the play. Let's see, I think something was thrown onto the court. And Pat Wilson blew the whistle, got it stopped, and whatever it was on the court is now off the floor, and Jared Verrill will inbound from the hash mark, 28 feet in front of the basket, right in front of the Tiger bench, and Jared getting some advice from Darcy Weisner and his assistant. So one thing about it, the Tigers should have this inbounds play properly set up. Darcy's standing right there, even has a couple of feet on the floor, and he's directing traffic.
Let's see who throws the ball in here, the coaching staff or the player.
Well, in fact, I don't know if it's a leak. Oh, I think some of the material from the pom-poms of the Bulldog cheerleaders fell off during halftime, so they're picking up a few stray strands of the pom-poms and now have it cleared off. Verrill will inbound. Verrill needs to release it quickly, and finally does. About the 4-second count. He has 5 to get it inbound. Gets it to Nate Andrews. Goes to Gahan, who's been shut down. Bounce pass to Erlingson, who has a shot rejected, but the Tigers retrieve it. Gahan whirls down low, has the ball stripped out of his hands on the turnover. Ryan Keys up court. Bill Cornelius, 3-pointer. Good. No, it's a 2-pointer. Cornelius had 1 foot on the line. So Cornelius hits that nice 18-foot perimeter shot. Bulldogs on top, 46-38. Gahan working against Keys. Gahan to Verrill. Down low to Johnson. Hits him in the head. Has the ball stripped away by Holmes. Excellent defense. Holmes outlet to Garcia. Garcia waits for his teammates to come into front court. Drives hard to the hole. Rolls it up. Air ball. Cornelius with the carom. Misses it. Johnson with a rebound. Johnson looks for help. Outlet to Andrews. Andrews wheels into front court. Pull up 3-pointer. Rims out no good. Battle for the carom. Wahlberg. Outlet to Keys. Bulldogs on the break. Keys pulls up. Looks for Holmes. Goes to Garcia, who backs it out. Garcia drives right side. Goes to Cornelius outside the 3-point arc. To Holmes, head of the key. Holmes looks to the cutter. Keys doesn't get it to him. To Wahlberg right side. Give and go to Holmes. A whistle and a pushing foul is called on Dan Erlingson.
A little give and go cut there. Holmes went to the wing, and he got the ball right back through. He loves to get the ball down in that paint area where he's so strong down inside.
The Tigers, getting off to a slow start offensively, have yet to get a real good shot. Trail it by 8. Cornelius from the perimeter. He hits a 3. So Cornelius taking over with Cornelius from the perimeter. He hits a 3. So Cornelius taking over with 5 quick points, and the Bulldogs have their biggest lead of the ball game, 49-38. Kurt Cannon will check in at the next dead ball. Andrews goes to Erlinson, makes a strong baseline move. Wahlberg stops him. Pass down low to Gahan, who goes up against 3 Tigers. The ball is blocked by Wahlberg, but a whistle and a foul is called, and Gahan, who's been muffled by the Bulldog defense tonight, goes to the line to shoot 2.
Well, it's going to be tough going in there when you got the big people inside. He got fouled, but that ball gets swatted away at the same time. But he's a player that can go inside and give a head and shoulder fake, get people up in the air, and draw the foul.
Chad Wires checks in for Ryan Keys, and Jason Gahan goes to the line to shoot 2. Gahan's first free throw is long and no good. Jason will try and salvage 1 of 2. The Tigers need to get their offensive touch going here because the Bulldogs have had it all their way in the first couple of minutes here. Gahan's second free throw is good. Bulldogs lead it by 10, 49-39. Garcia wheels in the front court, working against Nate Andrews. Holmes running the baseline. Troy gets it on the right side, and a silly pushing foul on Dan Erlinson, who picks up 2 quick fouls here in the opening moments of the third period.
And that's 4 fouls now on Dan Erlinson. They can't afford to have him in foul trouble, which he is.
Garcia has it, right wing. Garcia looking for the lob to Wahlberg, who's open. Johnson playing behind him. They finally get it to Matt. Turnaround 8-footer, bounces, and drops. So an uncontested entry pass, and the Tigers promptly throw the inbounds pass away. Good steal by Garcia. Bulldogs on top by 12. Jared Verrill will return. Garcia goes right side to Wires. Head of the key to Holmes. Looking for Garcia, who they set a baseline pick for. Cornelius posts up, shoots. His shot no good. A whistle, and I didn't see the call.
And a travel call down low. He shuffled his feet as he caught the ball. Wahlberg now is having the defense play behind him, and he's asking, what do I have to do to get the ball? Give me the ball. I'll turn around and do my best to put it in, which he did the last time. That was close to an over and a back.
Baseball
right
pass to Jared Verrill, who nearly committed the violation. Dan Erlinson, give and go to Jason Gahan, who makes a strong baseline move. Is stuffed by Wahlberg, but Gahan showed how tough and hard he plays. Out-hustled Wahlberg for the offensive rebound. Went up again, was blocked, but drew the foul, and Jason goes to the line to shoot 2.
Well, maybe that's something they talked about at halftime there. Jason Gahan was on the perimeter all the first half. Now he's taking the ball inside, been to the line twice already.
Jason's first shot, good. Mount Vernon on top, 51-40. You're listening to the finest in Northwest League basketball and your sports leader in Skagit Valley in Northwest Washington, 1430 KBRC. Gahan hits a pair. Tigers within 10, 51-41, 5 minutes to go third quarter. Garcia pulls up, give and go to Holmes, drives baseline. His shot blocked by Brett Johnson. Now let's see who it's going to go on, either Johnson or Erlinson. And Chris Thorson will check in. It goes against Brett Johnson.
You know, something I like to see, and I've admired this out of Mac Frazier's teams over the years, and I've seen him coach since I was playing high school basketball and watched him while I was in college and coached against him later. He's got great camaraderie on his team. That time, Troy Holmes drove the baseline, drew the foul. The whole bench stand up, gave him a little hand there and the confidence to go to the line and hit the free throws.
Troy Holmes puts in the first free throw. Bulldogs on top, 52-41. Like the first period, the Tigers have begun the third quarter with a long drought without getting a field goal. They have no baskets yet. Their only point, 3 free throws by Jason Gahan. Holmes converts 2. Gahan makes a move, pulls up, free throw line extended, goes to Nate Andrews, left wing beyond the three-point arc. Thorson to Brett Johnson, who posts up for the 3. His shot bounces, doesn't go. Good rebound by Wires. Outlet to Garcia. Bulldogs on a break, 4 on 3. Goes to Wires. Three-pointer left wing. Good. Hey, that's in and dropped through.
That's beautiful right there. Had the break, and he saw him back behind, held up on the three-point line.
Jason Gahan nearly has it stripped away by David Garcia. A whistle and a foul. It'll go against Chad Wires. Bulldogs have stretched their lead out to 15 points. 56-41, 4:24 to go. That's Mount Vernon's biggest lead of the ball game. So the Tigers need to get on the scoreboard. Have been unable to put a shot down so far.
Well, they've been outscored 12-3 here in this third quarter. The most important part of the ball game, I think, is the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half.
Gahan left wing beyond the three-point arc, working against Chad Wires. Tough matchup for Gahan. Chris Thorson, head of the key, goes down low to Gahan. Posts up, triple team, misses the shot. Tough move there for Gahan at 6'1". Garcia, up court pass to Cornelius, pull up 14-footer, good. Tigers need a timeout as Cornelius has scored 7 in the quarter. Darcy finally gets the timeout. Timeout on the court, 3:56 to go in the quarter. Mount Vernon 58, Burlington Edison 41. We'll pause for a 60-second timeout.
For the best buy in a new Ford or Mercury, see Skagit Valley.
1515 South 2nd.
Welcome back to Mount Vernon High School. The Bulldogs with their biggest lead of the ball game, lead at 58-41. Chris Thorson brings the ball across the timeline for Burlington Edison, dribbling between the circles. Now goes to Gahan, right wing. Gahan's pass eludes Nate Andrews, and Andrews retrieves it in back court. Andrews said that Garcia got a fingertip on it, and Mike Gubrud says he didn't. Over and back is the call. Bulldogs have it front court, leading it by 17, 3:43 to go. Tigers on the verge of getting blown right out of here. David Garcia has it, right wing, goes to Troy Holmes. Matt Wahlberg posts up with Bill Cornelius, gets a screen. Wires nearly travels in the paint, goes to Garcia, head of the key. Garcia, directing traffic, goes left wing to Wires. Looking to Wahlberg, left side, down in the low block. Holmes has it, head of the key. Holmes pulls up, goes down to Wahlberg, backs in on Johnson, turnaround 6-footer, good.
Nice little drop step move right there for Wahlberg. Brad Sulfur just pointed out, we don't put a mic in front of Brad because we never know what he's going to say, but he pointed out that when Bill Cornelius and Matt Wahlberg come to play, Mount Vernon's going to win a ball game.
And those two, Wahlberg dominant on the backboards in this quarter, and Cornelius with 7 points in the period, have enabled Mount Vernon to pull out to a 60-41 lead. Dan Erlinson on that possession missed a three-pointer, retrieved the rebound, put it up and was fouled, and Erlinson goes to the line to shoot 2. The Tigers have gone 4 minutes, 55 seconds in the period, yet to get a field goal. Erlinson puts in the free throw. Those are the only points Burlington Edison has scored in the period. 4 free throws, 3 by Gahan and 1 by Dan Erlinson. 60-42 Mount Vernon. The second shot by Dan is good. Mount Vernon on top by 17. Garcia takes the inbound from Wahlberg, brings it into forecourt, moves on Andrews, drives into the paint, circles back out, gives to Holmes right side, Holmes to Wires. Wires drives into the paint, double team to Wahlberg, back out to Garcia between the circles. David directing traffic on the left wing outside the three-point arc, goes to Chad Wires. Wires a low post pass to Bill Cornelius, who spins and hits a turnaround 10-foot jumper. Cornelius, 9 in the quarter. Bulldogs with a 19-point cushion. Andrews being hounded in backcourt. Nate finally gets it ahead of Garcia into forecourt. Brett Johnson dishes down low to Erlinson. Moves over Wahlberg, rejected by Wahlberg. Cornelius, the rebound, nearly travels. Outlet to Garcia, knocked off his feet by Andrews, no call. Bulldogs in the left corner. Wires dishes low to Holmes. Back out on top to David Garcia. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go. The third quarter, all Mount Vernon. A give and go. The pass bounces off a Tiger. Holmes retrieves on the baseline and rolls it in. When things are going well, even the bounces go your way. Holmes retrieves it, laid it in. 64-43, three-pointer by Brett Johnson off the mark. Holmes the rebound. Holmes outlet. Ball stolen by Brett Johnson. Gahan drives, loses the ball out of bounds. On the turnover, Bulldog possession with 1:52 to go here in the third period, and the Bulldogs blowing this game wide open have outscored Burlington Edison by 15 points in the period.
Well, as Steve Bertelson comes in for Troy Holmes, who thought this would turn into a two-man team all of a sudden, and who thought the two-man would be Matt Wahlberg and Bill Cornelius? They're doing a great job down low for the Bulldogs.
Steve Bertelson right wing to David Garcia, spins into the paint, dishes to Wires, left side, shot up, good. Wires 14-footer, beautiful creation by David Garcia. The defense collapsed on him. He kicked it to Wires, who buried the 14-footer. Garcia with the steal on Nate Andrews, drives, and he's fouled by Andrews from the side. So no sooner does Garcia get the assist, the little 5'8 guard gets the steal, drives, and is fouled on his way to the basket. So David Garcia wheeling, dealing, and creating, and the Bulldogs, with great inside play from Cornelius and Wahlberg, have blown this game wide open. My thought, Brent, maybe a blessing in disguise to put the onus on Cornelius and Wahlberg to really be aggressive and step up instead of depending upon Mark Hendrickson as Garcia puts in the first free throw.
Well, you go back only a week ago, production out of Cornelius and Wahlberg, a big Zippo. Nothing last week in a big game. They would have had, what, 3 or 4 points. It would have been a Mount Vernon win. So for them to compete at the state level, those two players have to perform. As Brad Sofer said, they must come to play.
Mount Vernon on top, 68-43. Excellent quarter by Mount Vernon. A pushing foul away from the play. Mike Gubrud has the call. I think the foul will go against Steve Bertelson as Kurt Cannon was trying to post up.
Well, everything that Burlington did in that first half, all the good things they did, the game plan that Darcy Weisner had, they ran to a tee, they were right there in a position to be in the game. Where's it gone? We haven't seen any of that in the second half.
The first free throw is good by Kurt Cannon, and that's all the Tigers have had this period. Free throw, no basket. And if you don't make baskets against Mount Vernon, I guarantee you, you don't win. 68-45 Bulldogs. They're looking very much like the team that we saw earlier this year. Lob pass down low to Wahlberg. Brett Johnson outmanned. Tried to grab him from behind and hold him right there and then wheel in front. But Mike Gubrud right there makes the call. And the foul on Brett Johnson will send Matt Wahlberg to the line for the bonus. 1:12 to go here in the third period. Mount Vernon running away with it, leading at 68-45. And folks, it was a 6-point difference, 44-38 at halftime. Matt Wahlberg, the big 6'9 senior, puts it up, no good. The Tigers with the rebound. Dan Erlinson comes down with it. Erlinson's pass is out of bounds. Good defensive pressure by David Garcia. And the Tigers turn it over. One thing the Tigers have not done this quarter is make the three-point shot. In the first half, they made 8 shots from three-point range. This quarter, no three-pointers, no baskets of any kind.
Well, they're on their way to set a record they don't want to set. Now, at least tie a record. You can't get any worse than no field goals in a quarter. And I've never heard of that before in my life, not scoring a field goal in a quarter.
Bulldogs will go into a delay game. Little tune-up here, I think, for postseason play as the Bulldogs work time off the clock. Chad Wires beats Jason Gahan, drives baseline, nearly travels, dishes to Bertelson for the layup. Chad Wires made a good move, had patience, waited for Bertelson to come from the opposite side, hit him for the lay-in. 70-45. John Best is checked in for the Tigers, goes right side to Jason Gahan, trying to make a move on Wires, can't get by him. Dan Erlinson, a nice move, rolls it up, no good. Holmes with a rebound. Holmes swatted in the face, hands off to David Garcia, and David will walk it across the timeline. We're inside of 30 seconds. Down to 15. Bulldogs on top, 70-45. They've outscored Burlington 26-7 here in the period. Troy Holmes, great move. Dishes back to Cornelius. 14-footer, good. 72-45. There's the buzzer, ending a phenomenal third quarter for Mount Vernon. We finished 3 at Mount Vernon High School. Our score, the Bulldogs 72, Burlington Edison 45. And we'll pause now for a 60-second timeout. Bulldogs outscored Burlington Edison 28-7 in the third quarter. The Tigers no field goals, and it's all Mount Vernon 72-45 after 3. Nate Andrews brings the ball in forecourt for Burlington Edison, goes left wing to Jason Gahan, gets it down low to Jared Barrow, turnaround shot off the back iron, no good. David Garcia, outlet pass to Steve Bertelson, wheels past Nate Andrews, and the ball lost out of bounds by Bertelson. Burlington Edison basketball.
Well, I see it now, Mike. You know, we're up here at basket level up in the second deck. I want to be the first to break the news. Yes, there is saran wrap over the rim there on Burlington's basket. That's why the ball's not going in.
Jason Gahan fires from the left wing, air ball. Barrow the rebound, and there it is. Basket number 1 for the Tigers, but it doesn't come till 7.5 minutes to go in the ball game. 72-47. Bulldogs break right back. Garcia, will it count? No. Traveling is called, but a great break back by Mount Vernon as they sail down the floor. Sensational passing. Garcia's left-handed lay-in is waved off by the official who called him for traveling, but great ball movement.
That's one of the oldest plays in the book, the old give and go. And one of the best plays in this game of basketball, too. Great teamwork.
Lob to Nate Andrews, who nearly runs over Steve Bertelson, who had decoyed him near the midcourt line. Brett Johnson, head and shoulder fake, he travels. Johnson had the three-point shot, then tried to make a drive move and shuffled his feet. So back-to-back traveling calls, the two teams trading turnovers. Mount Vernon in control, 72-47. Mark Hendrickson checks in. He must feel kind of odd. His teammates went on a 28-7 run while he was on the bench. So Hendrickson checks in, replacing Matt Wahlberg. They go low to Bill Cornelius. Turnaround, jumper, good. Bill has 13 in the second half. Cornelius on fire. Remember, he was scoreless against Seaham last Friday. But Bill playing excellent basketball tonight. Jason Gahan, a reverse move, misses a 12-footer under great defensive pressure. Garcia leads the Bulldog break. Looks for Mark Hendrickson. Cornelius skips the pass instead. Hendrickson, the carom, and lays it in and out. No good. Cornelius, the rebound, lays it up. No good, but he's fouled and will go to the line to shoot two. So Bill Cornelius has really sprung into action tonight and been most impressive here in the second half.
Well, he's playing like a man possessed, that's for sure. And I'm sure Mac Frazier, more than anybody else, is glad to see this because he knows what Bill Cornelius has the potential of, and now it's coming through in this game. He's just playing unconscious.
Bill's first free throw is good, just like everything else here in the second half. Bill's free throw gives Mount Vernon a 28-point cushion, 75-47. Very big game also in Skagit County tonight. The Cedar Woolley Cubs hosting the Ferndale Golden Eagles. The Golden Eagles entered tonight's action just a half game behind Mount Vernon in third place at 8-3. And Cedar Woolley was just a half game behind Bellingham in fifth place. So the Cubs' very big game tonight over in Cedar Woolley. And be sure and tune in at 11 o'clock tonight for our complete sports wrap, in which we'll have all the high school scores as well as a look at the college and professional ranks. The second free throw was made by Cornelius, and David Garcia committed a reach-in foul on the Tiger possession in front court. Nate Andrews goes to the line to shoot 1-1. Nate rolls in the free throw. 76-48 Mount Vernon. Andrews tries to drop in that second free throw. The 5'10 guard makes it, and the Tigers trail by 27, 76-49. David Garcia brings it into front court, goes right side to Hendrickson. To Bertelson between the circles, left wing to Garcia, looking for Hendrickson on the lob. Beautiful dish as Garcia drives into the paint, lays it off to Mark Hendrickson, who drops it off glass and through. 78-49 Mount Vernon. Andrews nearly has the ball swatted away by Garcia. Goes to Brett Johnson. Drives on Bill Cornelius. Drives baseline. Cornelius swats it out of bounds.
A nice team defense here. A lot of help on that backside. And that lets people like David Garcia and Chad Wires take the chances that they can out front try to steal the ball.
Burlington. Jared Verrill goes down low to Jason Gahan, who posts up his man, misses the short jumper. Garcia gets the outlet pass from Hendrickson. Pulls up, free throw line extended. His pass intended for Cornelius, deflected out of bounds. 5:50 remain in our ball game. The Bulldogs breaking it open with a 28-7 burst in the third quarter, lead at 78-49. Cornelius right corner, guarded by Erlinson, goes between the circles to David Garcia. Cornelius posts up, free throw line. Lob pass to Hendrickson, goes off the rim. Cornelius retrieves the rebound, saves it into Garcia. Great job by Bill Cornelius, who's done it all on both ends of the floor. Chad Wires to Steve Bertelson, head of the key. Bertelson goes left corner to Garcia, fires a rare three and hits it. David Garcia with the three. Bulldogs on fire, lead at 81-49. 5:17 to go in the ball game. When Garcia makes a three-pointer like that, you know you're in real trouble. Bounce pass by Andrews to Verrill, who works his way down the lane. A great move and scores. Jared Verrill with just the second basket of the second half for Mount Vernon, for Burlington Edison rather. And on the inbounds play, the Bulldogs turn it over. And Burlington Edison will have it underneath their own basket with a chance to cut the deficit under 30.
Well, Cannon comes in now for Brett Johnson for Burlington. Going to see if a few different bodies can make some things happen.
David Garcia checks out. Great game by David Garcia. Bounce pass into Jared Verrill by Nate Andrews, swatted away. For the Tigers, they have Dan Erlinson, Kurt Cannon, Jared Verrill, Jason Gahan, and Nate Andrews. For Mount Vernon, Bill Cornelius, Mark Hendrickson, Steve Bertelson, Ryan Keys, and Chad Wires. The Bulldogs with the steal. Keys the pass to Wires, who drives and scores. 83-51 Mount Vernon. 4:51 to go in the ball game. Jason Gahan launches a three from the left wing and hits. Burlington's ninth three-pointer of the ball game, just their first in the second half. 83-54 Mount Vernon. Ryan Keys, baseball pass to Bertelson, unguarded, fires a three, barely draws iron. Verrill, outlet pass to Gahan, sprints the length of the court, drives for the lay-in. 83-56. The Tigers with a little bit of a run here. Hendrickson will walk the ball out of backcourt for Mount Vernon. 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Bertelson open left wing. Goes to Ryan Keys. Ball goes through his fingertips, deflects off his forehead right into Ryan's hands. Ryan goes left wing to Steve Bertelson. Directing traffic does the 6'1 sophomore. Hendrickson posts up right wing. Turnaround 10-footer. Spins and swirls out of there. Cannon the rebound. Outlet to Gahan. Gahan sprints into forecourt. Beats wires. Drives baseline. Nearly travels. Under pressure. Pass to Nate Andrews. Pull up 17-footer. Short. Barrel. Good hustle. Step 17 feet. No good. Battle for the rebound. Erlinson. Reverse layup. Partially blocked. Gahan the rebound. Up. Good. Good hustle by the Tigers, who called timeout. We'll keep it right here. 83-58. The Tigers with a run. And to their credit, though they fell behind by more than 30 points, they didn't lay down and get steamrolled by Mount Vernon. They finally found their shooting touch and have put on a bit of a run and trail now 83-58.
Well, statistician Brad Sofer points out the story. The numbers do tell the story here in the second half. At the 4:30 mark, it is now 3:42 left in the game, and as you've said, Mike, they've scored a couple hoops here in the last 45 seconds. But at the 4:30 mark, Burlington was 2 for 16 from the field. On the flip side of the coin, Mount Vernon was 15 for 20. That's 26 points difference right there just from the field alone. And that's the name of the game here in the second half. Mount Vernon's put it in. Burlington has it.
If Mount Vernon makes 15 of 20 against anyone, they're going to have a comfortable lead, because they could beat any team in the state of Washington in any classification if they shoot the basketball that way.
And they did that with Mark Hendrickson on the bench. That's a story by itself.
Trent Keys throws to younger brother Ryan. Trent checking in. Chad Wires across the timeline. 3.5 minutes to go. Bulldogs on top, 83-58. Ryan Keys, high post pass to his brother. Give and go pass stolen away by Jared Verrill. Verrill outlet pass to Nate Andrews. Pass to Dan Erlinson, who wheels past Trent. Pass down low to Jared Verrill. Stolen away. Ball still loose. Kurt Cannon gets it. Dishes to Erlinson. His shot blocked by Hendrickson. Rebound. Kurt Cannon puts it up and in. Good hustle by Cannon. Stripped the ball away from a Bulldog and laid it in. 83-60. Mount Vernon in forecourt. Ball nearly thrown away, and Hendrickson steals it away from a Tiger. See who the ball belongs to. Sloppy ball handling there. And Mount Vernon finally regains possession. 3 minutes exactly to go in the ball game. 83-60, Mount Vernon. Trent Keys into Ryan. Ryan wheels to the free throw line extended. Goes right wing to Chad Wires. Bulldogs up by 23. High post pass to Hendrickson. Pull up 15-footer is short. Cannon with a rebound. Hands to Nate Andrews. Andrews walks it out of backcourt, looking for the outlet pass on the wing, working on Ryan Keys. No place to go. Keys right in his face. Pass to Erlinson. Erlinson gives to Verrill. Three-pointer. He fakes it. Trent Keys stepped out nicely. Erlinson's three from the corner. Bounces, doesn't go. Verrill, the rebound there for the layup. 83-62. Trent Keys will inbound his pass to Mark Hendrickson. 2.5 minutes to go. Hendrickson wheels. Goes to Steve Bertelson. Hendrickson runs over a Tiger. And I think the foul will go against Mark Hendrickson. Perhaps a blocking call. Let's see. The foul is on 44 on Verrill. Darcy Weisner pops to his feet, utters a little bit of a protest. Thought Verrill did a nice job stepping in front of Hendrickson, but Verrill draws the blocking call. And Verrill will come to the sideline. Well, he will stay in there. That's just his fourth foul. Kurt Cannon will come to the sidelines as Brett Johnson comes in.
Well, Jared Verrill played his heart out tonight. He's had a very fine game. He had that tough assignment in the first half of trying to slow down Mark Hendrickson, and that'll take the sap out of anybody.
Hendrickson's first free throw is up and good. This game's really got to make Max Frazier feel good, I think, because Mark Hendrickson has averaged 24 a ball game, and maybe for too much of the year, as the Bulldogs have their 13th win in 15 games locked up. Mark has really carried the burden both on the backboards and offensively. And tonight, Bill Cornelius really with an excellent offensive game, and Matt Wahlberg much more active. So that's going to make Max Frazier feel very good. 85-62 Mount Vernon as Hendrickson hits two. Nate Andrews under pressure looking for help. Finally gets it down low to Jared Verrill. Tries to post up Mark Hendrickson, and his give-and-go pass to Brett Johnson on the left baseline knocked out of bounds. The Tigers will inbound it Nate Andrews to do the honors. 2:03 to go in the ball game. Andrews gets the ball from official Pat Wilson. The count is on. Bounce pass to Verrill. Beautiful play, and Jared lays it in. 85-64 on Verrill's hoop. Tigers trail by 21. We're inside 2 minutes to go. Hendrickson has it high post, goes to Weyer's right wing. Out on top between the circles to Ryan Keys. The Bulldogs going to take some time off the clock. Weyers to Steve Bertelson, being guarded by Erlinson. Weyers moves between the circles, goes left wing to Trent Keys. High post pass, give and go to Ryan Keys for the reverse lay-in, no good. Trent with a follow, off the glass, no good. Battle for the rebound, ball still loose. Ryan Keys runs it down, has the ball stripped out of his hands, but a reach-in foul is called. I believe it's going to go against Jared Verrill. Let's see. Foul is on 44. I believe that'll be Verrill's 5th personal foul, and Jared played it hard out, as you said, Brand, and really made a big contribution to the Tigers tonight.
Well, he did. He's a fine athlete. He's only a junior. He's got another couple more shots at Mount Vernon in his career, but a fine game tonight for Jared Verrill.
So Verrill fouls out. Kurt Cannon will get the call from Darcy Weisner. A Bulldog stripping off his warm-up jersey, and he'll check in here shortly. Unable to see who that really is, but when he reports to the scoring table, we'll be able to pass that information along. Mount Vernon on top, 85-64. The Bulldogs broke the game open, outscoring Burlington Edison 28-7 in that third quarter, and that 21-point difference until that free throw was made by Steve Bertelson was our difference in the ball game.
Just to tell you, the game Jared Verrill had 15 points, 11 rebounds. That's quite a night.
Bertelson's second free throw bounces out, no good. Tigers with a rebound. Cannon, the outlet pass to Gahan. Double team. Gahan looks, still has the basketball. Bounce pass to Cannon, who's double teamed. The Bulldogs with the steal. Trent Keys up court to Ryan, who drives. The reverse lay-in is no good. He's hammered from behind, but Ryan Keys on the great speed from his brother is fouled from behind and goes to the line to shoot two.
Well, great job there by Trent Keys. He did a fantastic job of getting that cross-court pass across to his brother there. Great job.
So Ryan Keys goes to the line to shoot two. Nate Andrews committing the personal foul, and Nate hurt his ankle a little bit on that play. Comes to the sideline.
We will rejoin that game. We have some technical difficulties, so as soon as Mike Lane gives me a call and we get those straightened out, we will rejoin that game, so stay tuned. Since 1952, folks have been buying their RCA products at Armstrong.
Savings from $50 to $200.
And the drop to Todd Thompson. 87-66 the score. Second shot good. Johnny Kills and 30 seconds on the ball. Nice
got it in control. Three-point shot up for Burlington. Short, no good. They were still good in the first half. That was good. They fall away. John Johnson. Turnover for the Burlington. 19 seconds left in this ball game. 88-66. The lock pressure in the two-shot. Referee gets in the air. Brad Johnson getting the turnover. 12 seconds left in this ball game. 10 seconds.